don't believe in it. Don't believe in what they are doing. Listen, we're all human beings. We are going to be ill. We fall ill from time to time, and we get well from time to time. And there's no different types of persons. So I believe that the President of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, is a human being. Anytime he's bound to be ill. That is why those who drew up the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 1999 made it quite clear under Section 145 that when the President is on vacation at any time, could be held vacation, the Vice President who was elected with him at the time will carry out his functions. He did not say he will carry out some of his functions. He will carry out his function as if he is the President of Nigeria. That is, he will act as the President until he returns. There is no limit as to how long he would act. There is no limit as to how long he will be away on leave. It's all convention. You will remember that in 2010, a similar thing happened when President Yar'Adua was ill abroad in Saudi Arabia. He did not send any letter to the National Assembly. So it was difficult to compare the two. But what happened at that time was that the doctrine of necessity was adopted. At a meeting, some of eminent persons of this country, summoned by the former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, who is always looking for peace in this country, stability of this country. I was one of those eminent persons where the doctrine of necessity was adopted. It was proposed by one of the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, and it was that was carried to the National Assembly under the functioning president, because he was not acting at that time. So the difference between that and this one is that President Muhammadu Buhari gave notice of his absence from Nigeria. So that has nothing. Therefore, acting President Osinbajo has every right to perform the duties of Mr. President. You can even call him acting Commander-in-Chief. If he does not perform the duties that the President normally performs, then he should ask himself why he's not doing so. Who is stopping him? Nobody. Nobody has a right to stop him. Particularly when he has even very good relationship with Mr. President before he left.
Okay, sir.
So those who were therefore demonstrating that he should resign, he should come back home, he will come back home when he's well, when the doctor declares him fit. then he will come back home. But as long as he's still ill and is recovering, he will have to listen to his doctors. I know Nigerians are very anxious, but those handling him have not done very well. Mr. President, according to convention all over the world, when he's ill, his people will be told what is wrong with him. You cannot conceal or hide away from the people of Nigeria who elected Mr. President and who has become a public figure. You must tell the people what is wrong with Mr. President, and they will pray for him. And we all have been praying for him. I think that those handling him should listen to Nigerians. There should be no secrets about it. When Reagan went for an operation in America, he made it very clear. So I think Nigerians have a right to know what is wrong with their president. Those who are with him have no better right than any other Nigerian. That is the only problem I have seen. Otherwise, let us continue to pray for him to be well and let him come back to resume his duties as president of Nigeria.
Okay, sir. Away from that for now, I think about some weeks ago, you called for the arrest of the IPOB leader, Nnamdi Kalu. We want to have more view on that. Why should Nnamdi Kalu be arrested when he's agitating for Biafra and is getting support from his people? Don't you think
Nnamdi Kalu is not getting response from his people? Who are his people? Is it the young ones who are following him, who were never born when there was civil war in this country? When the call for Biafra State, Republic of Biafra was declared, where were they? They were not born. But the majority of Nigerians, of Biafrans, Igbos, who fought during the war, who were wounded, some of them are still wounded. They said, we fought to break away, but it didn't happen. So we came back to Nigeria to be part of this country. And this has happened since 1970, about 50 years ago, isn't it? So who is now saying that what has happened? What has changed the situation? If it's true, in all countries people agitate for breakaway, like Scotland, people are doing like in Spain, but they don't do what type of thing Kalu is doing. Kalu is troublesome. He has no respect for law and order. When the lady, the leader of the Scottish movement in Parliament said after the referendum, which they did not vote for to stay out, they would therefore have their own a second referendum. The Prime Minister said, this is not the time. And she obeyed. No trouble, no fighting. Who is Kanu to tell the people in Anambra State there will be no election? Who is he? That's treasonable. He should be arrested. I said so.
Sir,
he should respect the elders. There is a president of an organization which is the umbrella covering all Igbos, Ohaneze. The man who is the President General today of Ohaneze is a well-respected man in Nigeria. More intelligent than this boy called Nnamdi Kalu. He fought during the war. So the former vice president of this country comes from Anambra State. He would not listen to them. Ambassador Anyonku. Most Nigerians have prominent Igbo people. It is true that in politics, as time goes on, let us make this point very clear about the marginalization of Igbos. In the First Republic, nobody could say the Igbos were marginalized. Dr. Nnamdi was the first Governor General of Nigeria. He was the first president of Nigeria. Chief Orizu was the president of the Senate. Then you have ministers like A.C. Wampa, colorful minister, Raymond Njoku, Eni Njoku, K.O. Mbadiwe. You can go on. Who said the Igbos were marginalized in the First Republic? They were not. In fact, they were dictating. We, the minorities, were the people marginalized at the time. And we fought for creation of Midwest State, Midwest region, which was created in 1963. Those in the East were asking for core state. These were minorities. Josudo Duma and others were fighting for that. Ayoita was fighting for that. But the three major ethnic groups, the Hausa Fulanis, the Yorubas, and the Igbos were on top. So nobody was discriminated at that time. Nobody was marginalized. Until 1966, after independence. When in 1966, there was a coup, attempted coup, headed by Igbo majors. That was the one that changed the face of Nigeria. There were coups and counter-coups. And it was as a result of that, Colonel Ojukwu decided to declare the state of Bayelsa Republic. And there was war between 1967 and 1970. At the end, General Gawan said, no victor, no vanquish. And that there should be 3 R's: reconstruction, rehabilitation, and reconciliation. The argument, to what extent was this done, is a matter for debate. The Igbos suffered during that time. They were not allowed 20,000 naira or pounds. Their schools were all destroyed. In my position as Commissioner for Education under Brigadier Ogbomudia as Governor of Midwest Region, we had to equip some schools, including Queen's School Enugu, Okonano Grammar School, or what they call Union Secondary School, and the University of Nsukka. Like today, I have to send, today I have a house named after me, Clark House, in Queen's School, Enugu. I sent my eldest daughter to that school, from a good school, a well-established school in Midwest, to Queen's School, Enugu. Go and suffer with them. Go and learn with them. I became member of the Parents Association. Things were very bad at that time for the Igbos. But when we had civil government under Chagari, the vice president of this country was an Igbo man. Kwame. Dr. Kwame. He's still alive. I think he's in his 80s now. One of the things done by the military, when the military took over, before Gawan created 12 states, 12 states in the country, 3 in the south, 6 in the south, 6 in the north. Subsequent military leaders decided to create states and local governments whenever they liked. They created local government for their area, they created state for their area. At the end, Southeast had only 5 states. South, 6 states. Northwest, 7 states. Southwest, 6 states. Northeast, 6 states. And North Central, 6 states. Only the Southeast had 5 states. For no reasons. So during the conference in 2005, summoned by Obasanjo, we recommended that they should be given the 6 states to make it equal. During the 2014 National Conference, summoned by Jonathan, we people now ask, our states are not viable. Why do we want more states? We said the Southeast should be given 1 more extra state to make it 6. There are minorities everywhere who persons cannot become governors. They look like second-class citizens in their own states. Like Southern Kaduna, large population. Southern Borno, even in Benue, where only the thieves produce the governor. The Doman cannot produce governor. Kogi, until recently, only the Garas. So these were areas we said balance everywhere up so that every region having 6 every region out of the 6 should have 9 states. No region should be having more states. That was the reason. But let me correct one point. People think that if a small state cannot take care of itself, that is not true. The United States of America, California is more than 10 states. It's there side by side with very small states. So let us not deceive ourselves. Because oil has come, everybody has become lazy. You've abandoned tax collection in your state. You abandoned agriculture. You abandoned timber, cocoa farming, and everything, groundnut farming, and so on. Everybody comes to Abuja with their briefcases to collect monthly allocation, which is a disgrace. That's why the country is not functioning. So, the Igbos during the Jonathan government cannot say they suffered or they were marginalized. Rather, the Yorubas were the ones complaining that they were being marginalized. So, what am I saying? The demand for Biafra state is untenable. It's irresponsible demand. And nobody should support them. And anyone who is causing confusion should be arrested. Nobody is above the law. That's why I said those who call for the Igbos to quit the North should be arrested. Nobody is above the law. I understand there's a hate song going on in the North. They should fish out the boys and get them arrested. That is the duty of the acting president. He is the acting commander-in-chief of this country. Should not allow anybody to make the year of him. So I still believe that Kanu is not on his right track. He should be called to order, should listen to his leaders. All the elders in the Igbo land, they do not want to leave Nigeria. But wherever there are marginalization, it's politics. Tomorrow will be another day.
Structurally is the best call that would have happened to democracy in Nigeria?
Yes. I told you that we have always had... Okay, let me go back. I'm an old man, 90 years and above. I know everything about the political development in this country. During the Richard Constitution, Nigeria never wanted that constitution. That's what about 47. We kicked against that constitution. Then there was the McPherson's constitution, where it was provided. The people discussed and agreed that there should be 3 regions in Nigeria: the North, the West, and the East. The East carrying all the minorities with them that are now Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Rivers, and Bayelsa. The West carrying all the minorities, Delta and the Edo. And the North carrying all the minorities of Benue, Plateau, Borno, and other places. That was the Nigeria. So they agreed that we should practice a federal system of government. That is, Dr. Nnamdi, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, and the Sultan of Sokoto agreed that they should have a federal system of government with physical federalism. That is, we will have one country to perform certain duties. But everybody in that country, that's Nigeria, will be equal. Number one condition. No one will be a second-class citizen to the other. No one will be superior to the other. Number 2, each of these regions will develop at its own pace. That was why Chief Obafemi Awolowo, with good price in cocoa price, was able to develop the West, able to introduce free primary education in 1956, television in 1959. Cocoa House, he built the toilet building in Ibadan. Industrial estate in Ikeja and Apapa. Liberty Hall, Liberty Stadium in Ibadan. University of Ife in Ife. Ahmadu Bello with granite pyramids, prices were also high, was able to build Ahmadu Bello Stadium, Ahmadu Bello University. Kaduna capital city was improved, and Kano. Whereas Dr. Nnamdi was able to build the University of of Nigeria, in Nsukka. Hotel Presidential in Port Harcourt and Enugu. Everybody was developing at his own pace. This was the situation before 1953, when Chief Anthony Nauru moved a motion for independence of Nigeria in 1956. So there was agreement. The North said they were not ready. They wanted it as soon as possible. And when they left the parliament in Lagos, they were booed by Nigerians who wanted independence. Until they got to Offa or Minna, they were still booed. And they took a decision that they will not come back to Lagos again. That's how the London Continental Conference was arranged and attended. So in 1954, we had a constitution which was federal. The unitary form of government introduced by Ronsi, which was carried on by General Yakubu Gowon, was rejected by Nigerians at the time. But when they went to London, Dr. Nnamdi from the East wanted unity form of government. Ahmadu Bello from the North wanted confederation. They said they want confederation. Very few powers in the center. It was only Obafemi Awolowo who wanted federal system of government. Unity form of government was introduced by Ronsi through decree number 34, which General Yakubu Gowon, in trying to fight a war, could not revoke. That's where we are today. We now have a lopsided country. So restructuring Nigeria, let us go back to the 1963 Constitution. With some amendments, will be all right. A situation where the federal government had over 68 functions to perform and takes away about 58% of the revenue. All we are recommending is let federal government take 42. The rest will go to the states and the local government. That's what we are looking for. We're not looking for any other thing. Restructuring doesn't mean break Nigeria into two. Let Nigeria have, the federal government have few duties like foreign affairs, custom, and so on. All the other jobs that the federal government is fighting with state government to try who should build this road, agriculture, education, whether federal government should do primary education, it's all nonsense. Let's go to the states. Devolve more powers to the states. Devolution of power. So that's his position. So restructuring will make Nigeria a better place for all of us. If you don't restructure this country, spend more money there will continue to be trouble in this country. People will not be happy.
Sir, until recently, sir, Nigerians have high expectation with the Nigerian, review of Nigerian Constitution, when the National Assembly said about ruling. But many Nigerians were disappointed when it comes to the issue of the power devolution. And they've been receiving knock and criticism all over the country. And the leadership of National Assembly have made bold to say that they might revisit the issue of power devolution. As a father in the country, do you have a word for National Assembly if they deem it fit to reconsider the issue of power devolution?
You've said it all.
Yes,
They were not thinking of Nigeria when they took that decision in the amendment of the Constitution,
yes,
as regards to devolution of power. They were thinking more of themselves, the power they have in the National Assembly, the amount of money they get from National Assembly. So they didn't want any of these things to leave them. But that was very good of a leader. The President of the Senate, his deputy, and the leader of the House have given an indication that what they did was wrong. They will revisit it. That's what Nigerians want. So my advice to them is that ethnicism, religion, personal feelings, selfishness should not be mixed with the amendment of the Constitution, which is the most superior law in Nigeria. You cannot amend the Constitution every day. Let the members of the House reason like Nigerians. The demand for the restructuring of Nigeria is all over the country, so they cannot be indifferent to it. If people like prominent men who have ruled this country, like IBB, like Babangida, people like Atiku, and Bulabi Musa, and even they have said, the governor, the APC, which had it in their manifesto, have said they are not opposed to restructuring. What they are looking for, the definition of restructuring. They know it. All we are saying, let us revert to 1963 Constitution, Republican Constitution. So my advice to them is that they should put Nigeria first before their personal interests.
Lastly, from me, sir, from the last exercise, it looked as if this issue of devolution is like North versus South. Majority of the legislators from the South support more power to the state, while their counterpart from the North kick against it.
Go on.
Yeah. So even if they revisit it, sir, then the number of the northern legislators still outweighed that of the southern. For example, the Kano state have a huge lot of number of the legislators in the National Assembly. Do you think it will make a difference even if they revisit it?
It will make a lot of difference.
Okay.
I do not agree with you that majority of those who supported devolution of power were Southerners, and those who are opposed to it were Northerners. No. We are past that stage. Atiku, as I mentioned to you, is not a Southerner.
Yeah.
IBB is not a Southerner. Bulabi Musa is not a Southerner. I think it was a secret ballot. So you don't know who did this or that. So let us appeal to all of them. They're all Nigerians.
Yes,
Religion should not have any place to play. Ethnicity should have any place to play. Let us take it for granted that what happened was the responsibility of the entire National Assembly. So we should appeal to all Nigerians, whether from the north or from the south, in the National Assembly to put Nigeria first. And it will be better for them if they now look back home to see that what do we have to offer to our people? You can imagine education. I mean, with the amount of local government, with the amount of states they have, they have not been able to educate a number of the children. What do you have to offer to your children? I think this is the most important thing. What development will you have? So it's not a question of religion or ethnicity. So I do not agree with you that those who voted for devolution of power were mainly from the South. I'm appealing to all of them, whether from the South or from the North, to revisit their decision and reverse it in the interest of Nigeria.
Okay, very last one.
Government alone. Most of the government, okay, if you are asking me, when you are growing up, you compare yourself with your comrades. Where is Malaysia? Where is Indonesia? Where is Ghana? Before Malaysia used to have rubber, import rubber from Nigeria. But today, Malaysia is one of the largest producer of rubber materials. The people are living a better life than we are. So, is it the military that I will praise? Let us find out. Or is it between 1999 and 2017? Which government will I say that we have done well? Corruption everywhere. Ethnicism everywhere. Religious bigotry everywhere. People no longer think about Nigeria, the country that got independence in 1960, like Malaysia and other countries. Look at India, with a population of almost 1 billion. China, in those days in Nigeria, you buy something from China, say this is Chinese, this is Japanese. But today we are now running after them. We should ask ourselves questions. Have we succeeded? And at my age of 90 years and above, we have not succeeded. Nobody should parade himself that he ran a successful government in Nigeria, except during the time we had this war. The first time. And between 1960 and 54 and 60 and 66, we had good government. We quarreled among ourselves, particularly in the West. They were not Nigerian quarrels. Leadership tussle. Apart from that, Nigeria was moving. But after the war, what happened? So, we have not done well at all. But it's not too late. We can still do it. Let's not restructure our country. We need a level playing ground and restructuring of this country to put things in their places. Is what we want. Appointments. If you have a federal character in your constitution, have you been following it? So we have problems. We have nobody to blame. To blame ourselves. Nigerians should fight for their right. You don't have to carry gun We are too docile. What is wrong is wrong. Speak out. Fight for your right, and you will get there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your time. We really